So let's fly over the umgungundlovu tvet college campuses located in Pietermaritzburg. Just to set the scene quickly, right down at the bottom you can see the beautiful River running down to the sea. And right on the top, if you look above, you can see the Tugela River also running across. And then we have the Umgungundlovu River, which is going to run directly through Pietermaritzburg. I'm going to take a line which takes us through Edendale, named after the Garden of Eden, when James Allison, a missionary, actually bought the farm in 1851 and set up like a freehold section where a number of African farmers were able to own the land and farm the land, setting up quite a strong middle Christian class in that area, whose families have gone on to have huge historical importance in the area and often quite wealthy. So you've got the Minis, and then you've got Selby Msimang, fascinating leader who worked with the ANC, with Inkatha and with the Liberal Party in a very flexible way. And situated deep in the Edendale Valley, which we're going to swoop down so we can get an amazing view of it, is the Edendale TVET College. Now it's situated directly on the old section of James Allison's portion of the farm. And it mainly does civil engineering. And if you look carefully, you'll see it's also got a technical high school right next to it. And just behind the college is the old historical Georgetown, which the Amakholwa, the black Christian middle class, started to set up as a town where they could trade and they could start up their own businesses. Now, just before this freehold area was set up, the British actually established a native reserve in 1846, 5 years before this farm was bought. Out beyond Henley Dam over there, you can see it to your left at the top. It was called Swartkops. It's now known as Vulindlela. Now, Edendale wasn't the only farm that was converted to black freeholder rights of the Amakholwa tradition. You also had Slangspruit, which is the river we're flying over now, and Plesseslayer, which was also a farm. And it's over there that we have our second campus. It is right next to the Edendale corridor, this huge beautiful road that runs all the way through Edendale to Pietermaritzburg, and right next to DUT, the Durban University of Technology. It does a combination of mechanical engineering on the one side, fitting and turning and machining and fabrication, and you can become a mechanic over there as well. And then the business studies unit has got a big educare, education and development section. And I've had the privilege of actually going there and seeing some of the lecturers teach, and I must say that they are excellent. Call out to Mrs. Suwela, who does the education and development and educare section. I've put some of her videos, her teaching, onto YouTube, so go check it out. Now I want to pull out to go to the town campuses. There's 3 town campuses in Pietermaritzburg, by taking a little flyback tour through the white suburbs of Pietermaritzburg, this colonial town, this provincial capital town with the beautiful green lawns, the lovely pools, the golf courses with established estates, the many excellent private and public schools. And you're going to see very clearly that Pietermaritzburg has got Black Township, a white zone and an Indian zone, nestling in the separate hills. But just to say that it didn't always have to be like that, and it wasn't like that. In town and out as you move towards Edendale on the one side, there were towns like the old Sophia town, mixtures of Indians and coloureds and blacks and whites living and fighting together. And nestling on the banks of the Mzunduzi River, or we call it the Duzi River, you have the central office. There's no teaching that happens here. Basically, you have the senior management team working over there, and you also have the finance division. And I want to do a slow pull out to the southeast. So we're going to pull back over Maritzburg College, and that's going to give you a sight of the white privileged northwestern suburbs with the leafy green hills and the beautiful infrastructure. And you'll see that Maritzburg College is one of the best schools in South Africa. It was set up in around the 1860s, historically very white and privileged, but has recently started a real process of transformation. But it is still a very middle class school. And this is how many whites experience Pietermaritzburg. So that northwest suburb, town in the middle, then going to the southeast with the excellent schools and the university. However, the TVET college is structured on the southwest, where Edendale is, following the Umgungundlovu River through town and then to the Indian suburbs on your northeast, Northdale and Raysthorpe. So now, apart from the central office, there are two campuses in the center of town. And we're going to firstly go to the umgungundlovu campus. Now this is a business studies campus, so you can do a whole bunch of the marketing and management qualifications over there. And on top of that, you can also do computer literacy. And just a little bit further down the road, you get what's known as the Central or the Midlands campus. And now I've actually been there. It's got some beautiful old historical brick buildings. Now they do a combination of financial management and business management over there. You can also do the NCV in transport and logistics. And there's also all sorts of part-time programs which happen in the evening over there. It's a very busy campus. So now let's pull out of the Midlands campus and go to the final campus located in Northdale. And I want to try and demonstrate to you the racial, spatial makeup of Pietermaritzburg. So historically, when the Indians came in the 1860s, they lived in and around the Edendale area, and it was a very mixed area. A lot of coloureds actually there as well. But with the 1960s and the Group Areas Act, there was a forced removal of Indians from that area and a relocation of them into Northdale. And a similar thing, by the way, happened to the smaller coloured community who were forced to relocate from living all around these areas, specifically to Woodlands and Eastwood and Cinderella Park. Now, because Pietermaritzburg has got these beautiful kind of valleys, you'll see that as we pull over Northdale, it's very much the same as Edendale. It's kind of located in this beautiful valley, and it's resulted in the apartheid landscaping really maintaining itself, with the Indians living in one valley around Northdale, the whites living in another valley in those green suburbs right next door, but you can't see each other because you're in a valley, and then Edendale on the southwest side, also in a valley. So now we're flying into the Northdale campus, and this is mainly an electrical engineering campus for the NCV and for the N programs. It also does the NCV in hospitality, but really its major focus, its workshops, the lecturers that are over here are all in electrical engineering. And again, I've actually been to this college. It's got really nice facilities, and I've interviewed some of the lecturers who've had some very interesting things to say about the nature of teaching and learning within the TVET space. And I've put those on YouTube for you guys as well. So shout out to Mark Sanjeevi and Tharushan Odayar, who really helped. And that gives us first sight of the umgungundlovu TVET college campuses. Located in the capital of KwaZulu-Natal, Pietermaritzburg, with its beautiful valleys and hills, its strange history of having one of the first native reserves ever in South Africa, right next to this really fascinating Amakolwa Edendale farm, which has grown into a huge and dynamic township zone that combines the radical communist trade union traditions of Moses Mabhida and Harry Gwala on the one side, and then the far more pragmatic kind of middle class Selby Msimang, and all these conflicting groups resulting in terrible violence over here in the 80s and the 90s. And now whites, Indians, black people and coloureds overcoming the valley hill nature of their separate settlements and starting to live and work together in a city that's caught between Durban and the beach on the one side and the Drakensberg on the other side, with a number of really good lecturing staff at umgungundlovu College doing the best they can to improve the technical and vocational skills of the people in the area.